Joining me now is David Pine. During the elections, David Pine was predicting, he was stating that his fear was that Zelensky might attempt to assassinate Donald Trump. Were there connections between Ukraine and July 13th assassination attempt and then the other one while he was at his golf course in Florida? Joining me now is David Pine. He's been looking into it. David, welcome back to the broadcast. Thanks for being here.
Hey, Bradley, great to be with you.
You just keep covering such cutting edge stuff every day. I'm like, okay, I got to get David Pine back on. He's covering a very interesting topic today. Every day you're doing this, so good for you. Tell me about the two assassination attempts and a possible connection to Ukraine and Zelensky.
Yeah, so the first Trump assassin was initially identified as someone with very strong connections to Ukraine, and that was in the mainstream liberal press. And then suddenly, they basically said, no, it's not that guy. It's a guy by the name of Thomas Matthew Crooks. And then we all thought it was Thomas Crooks, and then the FBI decided to dispose of the body and water down all the blood residue. So in advance of a congressionally authorized investigation, to confirm that was indeed who the assassin was, based on the body's DNA and blood samples, and that's really kind of cast new light on the possibility. Why would they do that? Obviously, there was something they wanted to cover up, and the main possibility, of course, is that it wasn't who they said it was, and they were trying to cover up the Ukraine connections. And then that was on July 16th, of course, in Butler, Pennsylvania, and then September 15th, at the West Palm Beach golf course. Then Ryan Ruth, who has extensive ties to CIA, has been arrested by some accounts 100 to 150 times, never served a day in jail until he was indicted for the Trump assassination attempt. Made an attempt on Trump's life and thankfully was foiled by a Secret Service sniper.
But I want to back up there quick, David. He was arrested 150 times?
According to one account, he was arrested between 100 and 150 times without serving a day in jail. So he had numerous run-ins from the law. He had deep CIA ties. Basically, he seems to have believed. And if you watch the arrest, he was. He was almost smiling. He was feeling very secure. Nothing was going to happen to him. He was a protected CIA asset, so he wasn't going to stay in jail very long. He didn't understand that the change of administration would kind of change the outcome a little bit. He was a really unsavory character, and he was a recruiter for the Ukrainian Foreign Legion. So he traveled to Kyiv multiple times. There are videos of him in Kyiv, and he was, trying to recruit for Ukraine, had extensive ties to the Ukrainian, military. And now we find out today, breaking news, Jack Posobiec is reporting that he actually requested either Stinger missiles or RPGs from the Ukrainian military to use to shoot down Trump Force One during the presidential campaign.
Which I think is something we were talking about for many months, and talking about 5,000 man pads missing from Venezuela, going back many years. And you and I and Leo and others sat here and said, I really am worried about him flying around in a plane, so clearly marked Trump on the side. I wish he'd stop doing this. We then found out later, supposedly one day, he wasn't on that plane. It was a decoy. He was on another. So apparently even the Secret Service was taking it seriously enough to do that. Wow. Leave it to the CIA, apparently, to have tried another attempt on a president, which I think they were involved in with, JFK.
Yeah, I think that's very possible. I've always said that the CIA took out JFK because he wanted peace with the Soviet Union,
exactly.
And now Trump wants peace with Russia, and suddenly he's one of the assassins has extensive CIA ties. So that's certainly a very strong possibility.
Let's go to another article today it was everywhere when I woke up this morning. Apparently, there's been a Chinese gentleman found fighting for Russia in Ukraine. I mean, that's swirling everywhere. I'm not over there, so I can't validate it. I didn't interview him. But that's what's swirling. What do you make of this?
Well, yeah, there's at least 3 articles confirming that there were at least 3 Chinese volunteers serving with the Russian forces and fighting Ukraine that were captured. Those, it's unclear, of course, if they're active PLA soldiers or if they are volunteers. It's been reported that not only are there Chinese volunteers fighting with the Russians, but also Cubans, communist Cubans, and communist Venezuelan volunteers. And Colombians as well, because there are a lot of Marxist guerrillas in Colombia. And of course, an entire division of Korean People's Army soldiers fighting in the Kursk region. So this is not a surprise, I think, to you and I. I think we were discussing this, no later than late last year. Reports that China was considering sending troops, and certainly on a larger scale than this, to fight with Russia and Ukraine. It was actually reported in January 2023 by Condi Rice, former U.S. Secretary of State, that China was actually considering joining the war in a more formal way. So, that hasn't materialized yet, of course, but I don't think we should be surprised that Chinese volunteers are fighting with Russian forces against Ukraine.
How about this article? The Houthis outsmarted Washington today, an article over at National Interest. A lot of Americans, of course, are not following any of this. A lot of people just don't follow. They turned the TVs off a long time ago on politics and all of this, and they've quit following it. So I know a lot of Americans, this audience obviously is very, very, very informed, but a lot of Americans don't even know what this is about and how it could impact all of us here on our soil. But you're saying that the U.S. Navy, on your tweet today, the U.S. Navy has proven unable to win a war against the Houthis. They control less than 15% of Yemen and continue to block shipping in the Red Sea. What makes U.S. leaders believe that it could win a war against the PLA Navy in their own backyard? Talk to me about this, please.
Yeah, so the Houthis, they control the capital of Yemen, but they don't control much of Yemen. Most of Yemen is controlled by U.S. and Saudi-backed, ousted government control forces. But Trump decided to restart Biden's war against the Houthis. There was no real trigger for it. The Houthis had not conducted any attacks against Red Sea shipping for a 2-month period ever since the Trump pressured ceasefire was put into place. They were pretty happy with that. Even after Israel started bombing Gaza and reinvaded Gaza, the Houthis did not launch any strikes against U.S. shipping. But for some reason, the Trump administration decided to engage in this massive bombing campaign that's been ongoing for in excess of 2 weeks, perhaps even going on 3 weeks. On some days, there have been up to 65 sorties, bombings against the Houthi. We call them the Houthi rebels. I mean, they control the capital, but again, only 15% of the country of Yemen. This alone doesn't pose a threat to the U.S. There's no danger of escalation. But what there is a danger of is greatly depleting, the U.S. Tomahawk and other long-range precision strike munitions that we would need to deter a Chinese blockade or invasion of Taiwan. I mean, our supplies of precision strike munitions are getting critically low to the point where, China may well judge that the U.S. is not only unwilling but is also unable to respond militarily to a Chinese encirclement of Taiwan.
All right. Anything else we should have on our radar before we let you go tonight?
Well, there's been a lot of, Armed Services Committee hearings in both the Senate and the House. And I thought it was really disgraceful that the two top senators on the Senate Armed Services Committee were wearing, instead of U.S. lapel pins, they were wearing dual U.S. and Ukrainian flag lapel pins, demonstrating to me their dual loyalties, not to the U.S. but also to Ukraine. I think it would be really important if we could ban anyone that has professed these dual loyalties. It is not loyal to the United States of America and putting the U.S. first, because it really risks getting us into unnecessary wars, up to and including a nuclear war with Russia over Ukraine that could destroy the country.
Yeah. I want to go real quick to a video by the Secretary of Defense. He's been in Panama the last day or so. Listen to this.
To be very clear, China did not build this canal. China does not operate this canal. And China will not weaponize this canal. Together with Panama in the lead, we will keep the canal secure and available for all nations through the deterrent power of the strongest, most effective, and most lethal fighting force in the world. We will do this in partnership with Panama. Together, we will take back the Panama Canal from China's influence. And we will do this along with other capable, like-minded allies and partners. This is what peace through strength looks like.
Your thoughts on that, David?
Well, unfortunately, the fact is, as Trump has pointed out, that China does control the Panama Canal effectively because they control the canal ports, and they've had ununiformed PLA troops by the hundreds, several hundreds, stationed there. So, absent U.S. military intervention, they could very easily shut it down minimally. If they believe their control is being threatened. So they could sink a ship in the harbor. They could, or rather not in the canal itself to block it. It could take several months, to remove the ship.
Just like we saw with the ship that hit the bridge in Baltimore, right, David?
Absolutely, yeah. The Francis Scott Key Bridge in Baltimore was likely a Chinese cyber attack on a ship that propelled it in exactly the direction it needed to hit in order to take out the bridge. And that's one of the key ports on the East Coast for all kinds of important things that, reduced our ability to export things by about 20%.
And I think actually put some ships on the other side of that were military as well, right?
That's right. Yeah, I think we have like maybe 24 total main transports that are used to rapidly redeploy U.S. troops from CONUS, from the continental U.S. to abroad, and 4 of them were there. So it took out almost a fifth or about a sixth of our rapid troop transport capabilities. dpine.substack.com. If you want to follow him on his X account. Get up to the top. There it is. dpine.substack.com. And you can also follow him on his, dpine.substack.com is his Substack, but you want to follow him on X. It's at America First Con. And the con stands for? Conservative.
Okay.
America First Conservative.
Okay.
Just ran out of space.
Conservative. There you go. Ran out of space. At America First Con, or America Conservative, or dpine, D-P-Y-N-E, dpine.substack.com. David, as always, thank you for keeping us aware of what's going on.
Thanks, Brandon. Keep up the great work.
You too. Thank you, David. All right, folks, before we continue, gold has dropped. With all this going on in the market, gold has dropped. So it might be a good time to jump in and buy, folks, right? Buy low, sell high, right? Or you could do dollar cost averaging. For some of you already have it. So go and get your free packet on gold, getting your free packet of information. Just click the button, more information. The form will pop up and you can get a free, no obligation packet of information on getting precious metals, gold, silver, putting gold into your IRA, the difference between bullion and numismatic. I've been working with Swiss America for over 16 years. and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of my radio and TV audience have as well. So please check it out, worldviewgold.com.